Well, a very pleasant Sunday afternoon to all of you. This is meteorologist Joe Rayo here at the home base. Just a little bit after 5 o'clock this afternoon, and we are talking about a couple of things, actually. We're talking about the impending arrival of a tropical cyclone in our vicinity. That, of course, is Tropical Storm Isaias. That'll be here later on Tuesday into Tuesday night. And we're also talking about a tornado watch, which is now in effect for the entire Hudson Valley region or areas north of New York City. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But first, let's talk about the tropical storm. If you are plotting this on a map, on an atlas, you will find that, and by the way, we'll be taking questions from those of you who are currently watching and wondering about what's going to be happening either with the tropical system or with the tornado watch. We'll be trying to answer that on the chat board when I'm done a little bit later in this discussion. But right now, 27.8 north, 79.8 west. Those are the coordinate positions of a tropical storm Isaias as continues to move on a north-northwest trajectory. It has slowed down a bit now. It's moving at about 9 miles per hour. And that position of 27.8 and 79.8 places the storm 410 miles south of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Top winds in the storm, and the anticipation was over the last 24 hours that this system, which has been verging on minimal hurricane strength, would intensify back to hurricane strength, but it is not. 70-mile-per-hour winds right now. And the information that we've received from the National Hurricane Center as of 5 o'clock this afternoon. And if you were with Joe Chiaffi and I on the Joe and Joe show on his YouTube channel back at 11 o'clock this morning, we had mentioned that there was a blow up of convection, a large mass of thunderstorm activity, which might have suggested that some intensification was beginning. But also the Hurricane Center pointed out that they've had several bursts of convection over the last 24 hours that lasted for about an hour or two, and then it faded out. So indeed, the 5 o'clock discussion says that the earlier intense recent burst has waned since this morning, but the large convective cell has persisted at the peak of the activity around 11 o'clock this morning, which is, again, when we were on with Joe and Joe, 1500 Zulu, Greenwich time. Several small patches of Doppler velocities indicating 90 to 96 knot winds were located or co-located with the pronounced mid-level circulation that was evident based upon the radar from Melbourne, Florida. In any case, the storm still is at 70 miles per hour, and it's probably going to be hovering there probably for another 24 to 36 hours. Whether or not the storm actually briefly intensifies back to minimal hurricane force, I think right now it doesn't really, what are we talking about? We're talking about 5 mile per hour difference. The storm is what it is, and you can see it right now on this satellite loop that you've been watching for the past couple of minutes. This storm center is right about here, and will continue to move, as I noted, on a north to northwest trajectory, and apparently will make landfall somewhere along the South Carolina coast, probably sometime late Monday or during Monday evenings. And we'll be watching that carefully over the next, obviously, 24 hours or so and see how that all pans out with what we are going to see here in our area. Now, this is the viewpoint, is the projection of the European model, the ECMWF. And as I mentioned on my Facebook discussion of this particular storm track, the European model is still running behind the GFS prognostications by, well, it looks like to me a good 7, 8, 9 hours. This is the position as of 7 o'clock this morning, 8 o'clock this morning, I should say, daylight time on Sunday. And here is the view. Let's see if I can bring this up here for, this would be Tuesday morning. So Tuesday morning, the view of the Northeast, all the green indicating rain. This is light rain that is just moving into the immediate New York City metropolitan area. And the actual hurricane or the actual tropical cyclone is still well to the south. Now, if we move things along, This is again 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. Now let's jump over to 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, and you can begin to see just beginning to form down here at the bottom is the storm, the tropical cyclone, and it is beginning to move up, continuing to move along the east coast of the United States. Now, here we go to 8 o'clock on Tuesday evening. Now, notice here's where the storm is. It's positioned right down near the Delmarva Peninsula. Look at that area of deep red and also deep purple. I'm going to maybe lower the camera just a little bit so that you might be able to see that just a little bit better. That is the storm. And that shade of deep purple is indicating that over a 6-hour period, anywhere from 1.25 to 1.5 inches of rain is falling. That's heavy duty rain. Again, notice the position or the proximity relative to New York City. Here's New York City. Here's where that big blob of moisture is. Again, at 8 o'clock in the center of the storm, right down here in the Delaware Bay area. Now we're going to move things a little bit further along, 6 hours more. This is now 2 o'clock a.m. Wednesday morning. Take a look. The European model is placing the storm virtually on top of the New York City metropolitan area. All right, if you want to really, take this as face value, it's over Nassau County, Long Island. Not quite as heavy duty rain as was projected over Delaware Bay 6 hours earlier, but heavy rain nonetheless. And the storm, the eye of the storm, if you want to call it that, over Long Island and along the immediate New York City area. That again is 2 o'clock a.m. on Wednesday morning. Now, 6 more hours to 8 a.m. on Wednesday morning. And look, the storm is now up over central New England. It is now out of the tri-state area. The dark shade of purple returning, indicating, again, 1 inch to 1.25 inches, or maybe 1.5 inches of rain. And basically what's happening here is that all that tropical moisture, what we call frictional drag, the moisture is being wrung out like a damp sponge over New England, and of course over our area as well, but not with as much intensity. But now the wind is getting knocked out of the storm. The storm, which may have had still winds down in our vicinity late Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning of around 40, 50, even maybe 60 miles an hour. Well, the storm, as it moves over inland areas, the wind gets knocked out or diminished considerably, but all that moisture continues to get wrung out. So it looks like a real soaking rain for southern and central New England on into the early part of Wednesday. But again, notice, as I mentioned, that the storm, according to the European, will be over the tri-state area probably by or shortly after midnight, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. That's what the European says. Now, I want to show you what the GFS, the global forecast system, is showing. And the GFS, as I've been saying for the past couple of days, has been markedly different, at least in terms of speed. In terms of moving this particular tropical cyclone, it has been much faster than the European. What you're seeing on the screen right now is 6Z Tuesday. That is 2 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday morning. But let me move things back a little ways for you. We'll show you where things are going to be. Let's see, I want to move things along here to 48 hours. This is 12Z Tuesday. This is 8 a.m. on Tuesday morning. And if you'll notice, again, I'll direct the camera so that you can see it a little bit better. The center of the storm, according to the GFS, on Tuesday morning is going to be located down near the southern end of the Delmarva Peninsula region. There's that shade of purple indicating very heavy, if not torrential rains falling, again, associated with this system. Now, that again is 8 a.m. on Tuesday. Watch where the storm goes in another 6 hours, according to the GFS. This would be for 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, and the storm is right on the central New Jersey coast, right here. And all of that heavy rain, look at all that purple. That's 1, maybe even 2 inches of rain over a 6-hour period to the west of the storm track, to the left or to the west of the track of the storm. But again, this is where the storm is projected to be, according to the GFS, central New Jersey, by 2 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon. Now remember, Remember, the European model is saying that the storm center is not going to be over us until 2 a.m. on Wednesday morning. This thing is running about 8 or more hours ahead of the European model. It really is speeding up the movement of this particular storm so that by the time we get to 8 o'clock on Tuesday evening, the storm is already centered in central New England. Again, central New England at 8 p.m. The European model had the storm way down here still over South Jersey and in the Delmarva area, not reaching us until sometime after midnight. But according to the GFS, the storm is already well past us by midnight or 2 a.m. in the morning and taking with it all of that heavy duty rain with it. In fact, it looks like by 2 a.m., according to the GFS, the European, by 8 p.m., I should say, 8 o'clock in the evening on Tuesday, again, that's what this position is, 8 p.m. Tuesday, the storm already, according to GFS, in central New England, and the bulk of this very heavy rain is lifting on out. If you go by this, it's all over with pretty much by mid or late evening on Tuesday, at least for us. Let's see where the storm is at 2 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Well, here you go. According to the GFS, and this shows you why you can't rely just on one model, you have to take into account kind of a consensus of what all the models are saying. At 2 a.m. on Wednesday morning, they have the storm. It's up here in central Maine. And again, the European model has the storm at 2 a.m. on Wednesday morning right over us. Look at that big disparity between here and there between the two best mid to long range models. So again, you have to take a consensus of this, and we have done that, and so has the Hurricane Center. And we'll show you the Hurricane Center track in just a very few moments as to what they are saying down in Florida. In fact, I'm going to show it to you right now. Here it is. This is the 5 o'clock projection for the track of the storm from the National Hurricane Center. I'm moving it so that I can center it a little bit better. And again, this is almost like and this is not just based on two models, but a number of different computer models, the track of the storm, the speed of the storm. The track really, I must tell you, the actual storm track, where the storm is going to go, that has been pretty much right on target. All of the computer models have pretty much said the same thing, that the track is going to be somewhere from off the Florida Peninsula up to making a landfall somewhere in South Carolina late on Monday, early Tuesday, and then continuing up and away to the north and east. So here's where the storm is projected to be 2 a.m. on Tuesday. Here's where it's projected to be on 2 p.m. Tuesday afternoon and 2 a.m. on Wednesday. So if you follow this along, you would think that the Hurricane Center is thinking that maybe about 8, 9, 10 o'clock on Tuesday evening, the storm is pretty much going to be over the New York metro area. Most, if not all, of the storm's moisture is to the left and ahead of the storm track. So that means that if you go by this, the heaviest rains for the tri-state New York metropolitan area will probably be from, I would say, anytime from, let's say, mid-afternoon on Tuesday up until mid-evening, 8, 9, 10 o'clock on Tuesday night. And then, assuming that this track and the speed of the storm is correct, it may be all over with, at least the heavy-duty rains, by midnight, if not maybe even a bit sooner. And all of that heavy rain will then be projected north and eastward up across central and northern New England. By 2 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, the storm is here over northern Maine, and continuing along here, probably by 2 p.m. on Thursday, it's up over Labrador in eastern Canada. So the storm track pretty well indicates that we're going to see the worst of this in terms of wind and rain, probably again mid-afternoon through the mid-evening hours of Tuesday. And again, how much rain? I would think right now 2 to as much as 4 inches of rain may fall, especially to the left of the storm track, which would include much of New Jersey, areas in the Hudson River Valley, up into upstate New York. Lesser amounts, maybe only an inch or 3, only, he says. 3 inches is very close to what you would normally get through the most of the month of August, and all of that would be coming in just a matter of hours. But maybe lesser amounts along the immediate Jersey coast, and across Long Island and into southern New England up into Connecticut. Still, squally rains, heavy gusty winds. We're also going to be looking at winds that I think to along and to the right of the storm track, most notably over much of central and eastern Long Island and across coastal Connecticut. We could see winds gusting upwards to 50 or even 60 miles per hour. That could bring down again a few trees or power lines and could result in some power outages. Lesser wind velocities probably along and to the left of the storm track. The places that are to the left of the storm, to the west of the storm track, will get the most rain, but not as much wind. Conversely, places to the right of the storm track will get a bit less in the way of rainfall, but probably more in the way of wind. But again, from mid afternoon on Tuesday to about mid to late evening on Tuesday, everybody is probably going to see some squally, heavy rainfall, windswept rain, and probably also some rumbles of thunder as well, some convection. And in a few spots that get convection, a few spots that see a thunderstorm through all of this, especially to the left or west of the storm track, we could be talking about in some places more than 4 inches. So again, there could be some flooding concerns too. All of this again coming our way on your Tuesday. Let's see what else we have here to show you. Let's show you the latest radar. Now, this is the latest radar. We're talking to you right now at about 5 o'clock, actually 5:18. And you can see here on this radar at 5:18, if you're watching anytime later, things will obviously have changed. But right now, we're tracking an area of showers and embedded thunderstorms that's over northeastern Connecticut into central and east central Massachusetts, and also crossing through southern and central New Hampshire. Nothing really to show you across much of New York State, and nothing really to show you west of here in Pennsylvania. However, if you've been outside, have you been outside? My goodness, what a change 24 hours makes. Yesterday, at least, it was hot yesterday, but at least the humidity was, I won't say low. Dew point temperatures were probably close to 60. Today, we pushed the dew point temperatures up by a good 10 or 12 degrees. It is like walking out into a sponge out there this afternoon. Very humid, very oppressive, very uncomfortable. The atmosphere very juicy and also very unstable and primed for the possibility, as we move through the rest of the afternoon into early tonight, of maybe some showers and pop-up thunderstorms occurring in and around this region, right around the tri-state area, upstate New York, and through a good part of central and western New England. It is for that reason that the Storm Prediction Center in Oklahoma has put a tornado watch in effect for this region. Here you go. This is the tornado watch area. All of the counties that you see that are in red are in this tornado watch zone. This box that you see here for aviation interest is the aviation tornado watch area. But for places that are near or even just outside of the box, or rectangle, I should say, those areas are under a tornado watch as well. This includes, in our immediate vicinity, most of the Hudson Valley, in fact, all of the Hudson Valley, Orange County, Putnam, Westchester, Orange County, Sullivan, Ulster, Dutchess County. It does not seem to include New York, although northeastern sections of New Jersey, Bergen County, Sussex County, and northwestern New Jersey are in this watch area, as well as a few of the counties in northeastern Pennsylvania, such as in the Pocono region. So all of this area here under a tornado watch for the possibility of thunderstorms developing, thunderstorms that could become strong to severe and could very well spawn or produce tornadic activity from now until 10 o'clock tonight. The watch has been in effect from 3:10 this afternoon till 10 p.m. tonight, unless it is decided to take the watch down before 10 o'clock. But it may very well stay up in effect until then for this entire region of the Northeast. So we'll be watching carefully for any kind of active weather that pops up and develops during the course of the next several hours. I mean, I don't want to have tunnel vision here. I mean, obviously, we'll be watching and waiting for the arrival of Isaias as we get into Tuesday and Tuesday evening. But again, also just as important is the fact that we have the potential for strong to severe weather activity and possible tornadoes in this watch area from now until about 10 o'clock tonight. So let me close the shutter here for the moment on the camera, and let me show you what we are going to be talking about on the chat board. I'm assuming that there are some who are on the chat board right now. I can't see the chat board yet, but if you have any questions, I will endeavor to answer them as best I can on this very gloomy, very humid, very soggy, to a degree, Sunday afternoon, this second day of uh, of August. As I get my camera all straightened out here, pardon me here on that, and I'll open the shutter in just a very few moments. And when I do, we'll be able to chat directly. I do see quite a few people on the chat board here today. There we go. Hi, how you doing? Let's talk about what's on the chat board tonight. By the way, for those of you, I hate to keep being a nudge, or as my grandmother used to call me, a scutch. I guess scutch is an Italian word for somebody who's a nag or whatever. But for those of you who are already subscribers to my YouTube page, obviously those of you who are on right now and watching me, you're on my YouTube page, Joe Rayo Weather, my YouTube channel, actually. Those of you who are subscribers, you're probably already subscribed. If you are already a subscriber, I do hope that you tell others about this. We're going to continue to update you on the weather with this tropical cyclone situation. We'll be back again tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And assuming I don't lose power, we'll be back again on Tuesday when we're really in the thick of things at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, tracking the storm. If you are a subscriber, tell somebody, tell your family, tell your friends to subscribe. As you are well aware, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe to any YouTube channel, including this one. And we're trying to get to 1,000. We're now less than 100 away from 1,000 subscribers, the magic number of 1,000. And we're hoping to do it very, very soon. And maybe in the next day or two, we will do it. If you are not a subscriber, subscribe. And as far as notifications are concerned, some of you do get notifications as to when we go on the air here. Others do not. I don't understand why exactly. This also happens with Joe Chiaffi on his YouTube channel. I have nothing to do with notifications. If you have a problem with that, maybe you should contact YouTube and say, hey, how come I'm not getting notified when Joe Rayo is giving an important weather update on severe weather, tornadoes, and the possibility of even a tropical cyclone coming through? I want notifications. So tell them about that. And if you complain enough, maybe they'll get off their schneid and do notify you. We do have quite a few subscribers, as I said, approaching 1,000, and hopefully we'll get there in the next few days. All right, enough of that. Let's answer some questions here. Dennis Cassia, how are you doing? Chuck Cardillo, hope you're having a great afternoon. I'm trying my best, Chuck, to have a great afternoon. Let's see. David Howard, his birthday is tomorrow. Well, happy birthday in advance to you, David. Who would know a tropical storm coming on my birthday? He says, it's all good and good to see doing updates and praying for you and everybody. And of course, we get excited about active weather. I know a lot of the weather mavens out there get excited whenever we have some active weather such as this, but we don't want it to be too active. We don't want any problems in terms of flooding or power outages or all the things that are normally accustomed to or that follow a significant storm threat. And I want to stress here, we're not expecting a repeat of Sandy. We're not expecting a repeat of Irene or any kind of major storm like Floyd in 1999 that brought over a foot of rain to the Hudson Valley. We're not expecting anything like that. Still, we are expecting a few hours of nastiness here from Tuesday afternoon on into Tuesday evening. And again, we'll be here each afternoon at 5 o'clock to keep you abreast of what is happening or will be happening. Tim Pendleton asked, Joe, is this tropical storm more of a wind maker or a heavy rain maker for Long Island, in my estimation? My estimation, Tim, is that Long Island is going to get the worst of it in terms of wind. 40, maybe 50, or even possibly, if you really want to push the envelope, 60 miles per hour, particularly over central and eastern sections of Long Island in gusts. I don't really see sustained winds for any long interval of time of 40 mile per hour or more winds, but storm gusts, 40, 50, 60 miles an hour is certainly a possibility. Less of that to the left or to the west of the storm track, which would mean northern Jersey and in the Hudson Valley, not as much of a risk of seeing those high wind gusts as would Long Island. As far as rain is concerned, yes, Long Island, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches, I think, at least, and maybe again with a thunderstorm entering the picture, a bit more than that. The heaviest rain, again, to the left or to the west of the storm's track, and that would be for you in northern Jersey and for you who are watching in the lower Hudson Valley. I would think, for example, that for me up here in Putnam County, I would probably see more rain than, let's say, over in eastern Long Island or a place on the Twin Forks. Again, I think most of the rain here is going to be not necessarily confined, but chiefly in the areas, again, to the west and to the north of the storm track. So I hope that answers your question, Tim. Chuck Cardillo saying hello to Tim on the chat board here. David Howard says, I live in South Carolina. It's going to be windy. Yes, indeed. Looks like the storm, David, is going to make landfall maybe somewhere close to Charleston late on Monday afternoon or Monday evening, tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening. And again, in its advance, we'll probably see some strong gusty winds. So you'll probably be experiencing that. Let me also point out, as we have mentioned over the last few days, we have a full moon coming our way tomorrow night. And usually the highest tides come in the day or two after a full moon, astronomical effects. And we'll check and see and post on my Facebook page the times of local high tide for southern South Shore of Long Island, South Shore of Connecticut, the Sound Shore of Westchester. Again, in the next day or so you can make note of that. We're probably going to have one high tide cycle that will be where the potential for coastal flooding and even some beach erosion will be at its worst. And that would probably come again later on Tuesday or Tuesday evening. And again, aggravated by the fact that we are coming off of a full moon. That will mean the tides are going to be even higher than they normally would be without a storm. Leon Probitsky, sorry about that, Leon. Hi to you on this Sunday afternoon. Yeah, and thank you very much. Thank all of you for both on the Joe and Joe show earlier today and last night, and here right now for the birthday greetings. Yes, yours truly entered the world on this day in 1956. Do you realize, of course, that this is the 25th anniversary? I'm doing a little bit of mathematics here. This is the 25th anniversary of my 39th birthday. That's my Jack Benny birthday. For those of you who are old enough to remember Jack Benny, or who know who Jack Benny was, you know that he was always saying that he was 39. My Jack Benny birthday was 25 years ago, and I'm a lot older now than Jack Benny ever was, at least on television. Let's see. Dennis is on, as I said. David Howard. Any other questions here? Michael Azera. Happy birthday, Joe. Hope you had a great day. Mike lives in Trenton, New Jersey, and we just went under a tropical storm watch this far inland. I guess we're going to get some winds here too. Yeah, it's no question, Michael, that with a system like Isaias coming so close to us, that there are going to be some strong winds and there are going to be some heavy-duty rains that we'll be experiencing again, mainly later Tuesday and into Tuesday evening. And again, depending on how fast this storm goes, if you believe the GFS, this thing is on through here by 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening, is gone after that. But assuming that we take into consideration the slower speed of the European, expect the first half of the night to be a bit rough on Tuesday, and then we'll see what happens thereafter. You know, we just went through this, folks. We just went through this a few weeks ago with another tropical system, Tropical Storm Faye, which is a heck of a lot easier to say than Isaias. But we went through this with Faye. We survived. We got through it. and we will survive and get through the storm on Tuesday as well. It's nothing I don't think that we can't handle. Um, so let's see, Timothy Veltman. We have a decent shot at tropical storm conditions. He's telling Chuck Cardillo that, yeah, we do. And we will, again, as I said, get through it. And we'll see what happens this evening. Who knows? Maybe a couple of heavy duty thunderstorms or supercells will pop up, which is why we're under a tornado watch now. And we'll keep an eye on things for you in that regard as well. All right. So, again, I'm going to be here tomorrow afternoon at this time at 5 o'clock. I'll be here again on Tuesday afternoon at 5 o'clock as we watch for the continuing movement and progress of this tropical system. We'll have the Joe and Joe show, of course, tomorrow evening on Joe Chaffee's YouTube channel at 7 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Again, if you are a subscriber to Joe Rayo Weather on YouTube, thank you very much. If you're not, please subscribe. If you are a subscriber, please tell a lot of other people so we can make it to that magic 1,000 subscriber mark, which we hopefully will be meeting or getting to in the next couple of days. Frankly, it's kind of, in a way, I have ambivalence here. I want all of you to attend all of these televised updates whenever we go on the air with them. But it seems to me like whenever we get a major event such as what we have here with this tropical system or with the tornado watch night, there are more people. More people seem to be drawn when we have some potential, I wouldn't say cataclysmic weather, but potential active weather. But that's the way things are. Anyway, we hope that you'll be back with us tomorrow and again on Tuesday, either here or also with Joe and Joe or everywhere. I know a lot of you watch both. So I'm going to close it down right now. We've been doing this now for just over a half an hour, 32 minutes and 7 seconds. And again, we'll be back tomorrow night. Please subscribe if you have not already. And for those of you who are on right now, have a safe and pleasant Sunday afternoon. Let's hope we don't have any real problems from tornadoes or severe weather this afternoon or this evening. And let's hope, as I said on my Facebook channel, Facebook page, in terms of what we may see on Tuesday, let's prepare for the worst and let's hope for the best. Adios and au reservoir to all of you. And this is Joe Rayo on Joe Rayo Weather channel on YouTube, signing off for now. Have a good one, everybody.